Thank you for clicking on this video. Welcome back, friends. He sat back in his leather chair like a king surveying peasants. Congratulations, Patricia. We're promoting Susan. She's smarter, faster, and far more useful than you'll ever be. Frankly, you should thank us for keeping you this long. The team laughed, low and careful, like hyenas afraid of the lion. My cheeks burned, but my smile stayed intact. I slid the envelope across his desk. Thanks for the chance, I whispered. He had no idea what was inside. I had met him 5 years earlier. Back then, he was magnetic, charisma wrapped in a tailored suit. He shook my hand like he'd known me forever, promising growth, mentorship, and a future. He told me I was different, and I believed him. I worked late nights, covered his mistakes, and even defended him when whispers of creative accounting began to circle. I thought loyalty would mean something, but to men like him, loyalty is just leverage. The first signs were subtle. My projects were reassigned without explanation. Credit for my work mysteriously attached itself to Susan's name. Meetings I should have led happened without me. Then came the email, a reply not meant for my eyes. Keep stringing her along. She's cheap labor until Susan's ready. I stared at the screen, my pulse steady, my heart cold. It wasn't heartbreak, it was clarity. I didn't confront him. That would have been emotional, amateur. Instead, I started listening, watching, and filing away every slight, every number, every careless boast he dropped after too much whiskey. He liked to brag that he'd never been caught, that he'd never paid taxes honestly in his life. It's called strategy, he'd grin. I kept my face blank, but my mind recorded everything. It took months of patient work, hidden in plain sight. I copied files at night while the cleaning crew vacuumed, transferring them to a drive taped beneath my desk drawer. Bank statements, fake invoices, payments to shell companies with names like Silverbird Consulting. I traced them all. By the time Susan was announced as my replacement, my case was airtight. The envelope I slid across his desk that day wasn't a resignation letter. It was a copy of the financial report I'd compiled, neat and damning. On top, an anonymous note, "Federal investigators love puzzles. I've solved this one for them." He didn't open it, of course. He tossed it aside with that familiar smirk. To him, I was already irrelevant. Perfect. The real delivery happened 2 hours later, while he toasted Susan in the lounge with champagne I had paid for by working unpaid weekends. My package, drives, documents, timelines, landed on the desk of a federal agent I'd been in contact with for weeks. I'd left nothing to chance. 3 weeks passed, silence, then the storm. It started small, his accounts frozen without warning. Then the raid. Men in dark suits swept through the office, seizing computers, servers, anything with a wire. He tried to bluff, tried to laugh it off, but when they presented the receipts, the shell companies, the offshore transfers, his laughter dried up. Susan stood pale and trembling by the window, clutching her promotion letter like a shield. She wasn't guilty, just useful to him, like I had been. They led him out in handcuffs. Cameras flashed. The smirk was gone. I didn't go back to the office after that. I didn't need to. While the company unraveled in headlines, I sat in a quiet cafe and watched the news scroll across the screen. Millionaire CEO arrested for fraud. Lavish lifestyle funded by employees' sweat. My phone buzzed with messages from former coworkers. Did you know? Were you surprised? I replied simply, I guess he wasn't as smart as he thought. Justice isn't loud. It doesn't need to be. It's quiet, precise, a scalpel, not a hammer. I could have begged for respect. I could have fought Susan for scraps of recognition. Instead, I dismantled the kingdom he built on arrogance and theft, brick by brick. That night, alone in my apartment, I opened the final envelope I'd kept for myself. His signature sprawled across dozens of falsified forms, all in his proud hand, proof of his greed, proof of his downfall. I burned them one by one in the sink, not out of fear, but for closure. People ask if I felt guilty. I don't. He gambled with lives and futures, assuming none of us had the spine to stop him. He underestimated the quiet one in the corner, the woman he dismissed as replaceable. And that's the thing about people like him. They never see it coming. When he leaned back that day, mocking me, he thought he was winning. But the truth was, his fate was already sealed. Every laugh in that room, every smirk, none of it mattered, because I had already delivered his sentence.
Thanks for watching PastQuest. If you enjoyed the journey into history, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing stories from the past. See you in the next quest.